when Ms. Vasquez asked you if you knew why Mr. Depp couldn't or wouldn't look you in the eye here or in the UK, you said, yes, you know. Why? Please tell the jury why.
Because he's guilty. Because he knows he's lying. Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived. I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
Amber Heard back on the stand and directly calling out actor Johnny Depp for allegedly violently abusing her during the course of their relationship. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime, where we recap the biggest moments in the day's biggest trials. I'm Jesse Weber. This podcast is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. The last thing you want to think about when you're going online, you're searching, you're shopping for things, is that you're being watched and surveilled and your information being mined by companies and people. It's so problematic and creepy. Well, Surfshark VPN can solve all of these problems for you in a really easy to use solution. They basically turn you into an online ghost, an anonymous user that makes it incredibly tough for companies and people to track you. Just with the click of one button, you can forget about data mining of your information. You can forget about intrusive advertisements, which I know everybody hates. And right now, if you use the promo code LAW83, capital L-A-W 83, you get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. Now you might be saying, sounds like a great deal, but I still have no idea what Jesse's talking about. I don't even know what a VPN is. That's okay, because Surfshark VPN is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no risk for you. You can surf with your own set of rules. The link is in the description. So we're talking the ongoing trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard out in Fairfax County, Virginia, which just wrapped up day 17. Depp is suing his ex-wife for $50 million, claiming defamation, namely that she falsely accused him of domestic violence in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed piece, and that article ruined his life and his career. Now, Heard is actually countersuing Depp for $100 million, saying that he orchestrated a public smear campaign against her by trying to discredit her allegations in the media and calling them a hoax. And where we left off, Amber Heard was back in the witness box, and the day started with the continued cross-examination by Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez. And this was a very tense, very tight cross-examination. Vasquez wouldn't allow Heard even an inch to evade her questions. And one of the first accounts that Vasquez focused on was the alleged sexual abuse that Amber Heard says she suffered at the hands of Johnny Depp. This is one of the worst accounts that she relayed to the jury. But what you're going to hear is Depp's attorney really trying to point out that things don't make sense in this story. Listen to this, and I warn you, the content is quite graphic and quite disturbing.
Your testimony is, Ms. Heard, that either he has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he assaulted
At what
with?
point?
While holding you down by your neck.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Okay. Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
When he puts you on the counter, does he have the bottle in his hand, yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
So not only that, Camille Vasquez would press Heard on these lack of visible injuries in photographs after these encounters, why Heard wouldn't always photograph these injuries, why she didn't seek medical attention. She questioned whether she used Photoshop to make the bruises and pictures look worse, and even insinuated that Heard staged scenes after alleged fights to make it look like Depp went crazy. All of this bad stuff alleged against Amber Heard. But what Vasquez also attempted to do was to show that Heard wasn't the innocent victim, but instead a mean and unstable partner to Johnny Depp. And she did that by playing a series of audio recordings between the couple.
Suck my dick.
I don't want you to come on.
Suck my dick. Hey, guess
I
what?
might have. Suck my dick with you.
wish I fucking hadn't bought into any of your fucking lies, your bullshit, your sober fucking presence, your fucking goodness, your sweetness, all the lies. I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into the promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I hadn't bought into any of the lies you sold. Talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as something
I did
you're
myself
not.
the fake
Suck my
seller
dick.
of goods.
Suck my
I
dick.
fucking you left nothing and I've left
Suck my
everything.
dick.
So suck your
my
dick,
Yeah, go on.
which is probably your next move because it's what
Suck
you
it.
fucking need. No, I don't want to suck your dick. I don't want nothing to do with your
Oh,
fucking
because I really
midsection.
need something you want.
Well, go get it, man.
Because I need something. Go on.
Huh?
Fucking fuck yourself.
I
No shit, I don't. Go suck your dick.
don't want to.
It's gonna be all made up.
No, it's not really true, Amber.
Actually, it's kind of is.
It kind of is. What are you talking about? You didn't want some
No,
t-shirt? Oh, is it? What is it?
no, I'm sure Rochelle's available. Call her up. I'm sure she's available.
Maybe she is.
I'm sure she is.
We'll see.
I'm sure she is.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure she is. I'm sure her for her yoga blog.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
So, yeah, that is not great, right? And the question is, does that seem like someone who is afraid of Johnny Depp? Or does that seem like someone who's the bully and the aggressor? More of the recordings would be heard berating Depp, claiming he's a sellout, he's a joke in the industry, again, showing that he's the victim in this relationship, not the aggressor. And Heard on the stand acknowledged that she said terrible things to Johnny Depp, but said it grew out of frustration that she had with the actor over his drug abuse and everything that he was doing. And in fact, Heard was also confronted with audio recordings of her begging for Depp not to leave her. And then there were these text messages, again, begging for him to come back to her and her apologizing.
You start off again by trying to get Mr. Depp's attention, right? You write, please come home.
I was trying to stop another bender.
You write, please come home, right?
That is correct.
Please answer. Don't break us up. Please answer. Please. And continuing on page 97, you write, give me some piece of your heart. Please, no fight, I promise. Please, no fights. Please, just pick up. Please give me 2 minutes. I'm dying. Please. And continuing on page 98, you write, please come home. Please come home, Baba. I am so sorry. Actually, you didn't say Baba, you said baby. Apologies. And it goes on. Did I read those correctly?
That is correct. That was another time I'm trying to stop another twist off.
This is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and our
Ms.
lives
Heard.
were getting a lot worse at that
Ms.
point.
Heard, I'm talking about your actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would try
Isn't that
to-
correct? You
I
would
would try-
harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. She interrupted you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It was
Heard,
very
my
important
question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
Yes
try
or no?
everything to
Ms.
get a
Heard?
hold of him and
So
to
that's a
stop the
yes.
cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the monster for not responding to you,
That's not what made him the monster.
for
No.
needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The
Not
monster
for
was
doing
who
drugs.
he was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Heard. Not for being violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
This does a few things, right? It makes it look like Amber Heard was obsessive, that Johnny Depp would walk away when there were fights, that maybe Amber Heard did something wrong to Johnny Depp, and that she's vindictive. When he needed space, That's when she turned on him and started accusing him. That's the impression that could have been left in the mind of the jury. At least that's what Johnny Depp's side is hoping for. Now, on top of the fact that Heard's explanation that she didn't want him to leave because she was worried he was going to go and do drugs and come back and be violent, look, that's definitely a possibility. But is it a plausible explanation for these texts? And then you add to the fact that there was surveillance video that was showing her and actor James Franco heading up to Heard's penthouse at 11 p.m. at night while Depp was away. This is the day after she says Depp hit her with a cell phone and before she went to the court to get a temporary restraining order against Depp. Just the timing of that, the way it looked, the optics, it makes her motivations very questionable. Are you looking for a little bit more of true crime content? Well, if you haven't already, I want you to check out one of the best that there is, and that is the True Crime Garage podcast. True Crime Garage podcast is your next binge listen. The True Crime Garage guys, what they do is they cover a new case featuring missing persons, cold cases, solved stories, and of course, serial killer profiles. You search and listen to the True Crime Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of the best podcast listening apps. For more information, go to truecrimegarage.com. Now, Depp has been trying to portray Heard as someone who made up these allegations to benefit her career, to become an ambassador for the ACLU, to receive preferential treatment in Hollywood. But maybe most importantly, they say that she deliberately made this stuff up about Johnny Depp to get a bigger payout in the divorce. So there was this moment when Heard's 2016 deposition in the divorce case is played, and then Amber Heard on the stand reacts to it. And it's about whether or not she tipped off the media when she was going to court to get that temporary restraining order, because she claimed that Depp was violent towards her.
Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
TMZ is the same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets the day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't
TMZ
know how
owns
to do that.
the copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
I have no idea what TMZ
Did they pay you for that?
I never got paid for it because I had nothing to do with that.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not when you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way.
And of course, Heard was criticized for not donating the $7 million to charities like she promised. So it all makes it look like Heard was in it for the money and the fame. But from there, they moved on to the subject of the actual lawsuit. And Heard's position is that the Washington Post article, the thing that Johnny Depp is suing her for, wasn't about Johnny Depp. You know, it doesn't mention his name. It wasn't about him. She said it was all about her experience after coming out with allegations against him, which, by the way, I have to say is quite ironic, because the fact that she has publicly accused Johnny Depp of abuse, and she is now being criticized and hated online, that is the very thing that she warned about in the Washington Post article. So, you know, look, the jury is going to have to wonder whether or not the Washington Post article was really about Johnny Depp. Was it defamation by implication, even though his name wasn't mentioned? But I just have to say that it is ironic that the thing that she warned about in the Washington Post article is happening right now. But then they moved into the counterclaims. And remember, Amber Heard is alleging that Johnny Depp, through his attorney Adam Waldman, engaged in a deliberate smear campaign against her, making defamatory statements about her lying about these abuse allegations. But I will tell you, it wasn't entirely clear how much of these statements actually hurt Amber Heard, which is the same argument that we hear on the other side. How much did the Washington Post article hurt Johnny Depp? It's an important element in a defamation case. And also, it wasn't entirely clear what role Depp had in allegedly orchestrating this public smear campaign. But eventually, Heard did leave the stand after a kind of disjointed redirect from her attorney. It was mostly interrupted by a peppering of objections from Camille Vasquez. And after Heard left the stand, once again, her team began calling more supporting witnesses. And that's when we saw the testimony of Amber's friend, Io Tillett Wright. This is a name that's come up before in this trial. This is crucial because we haven't really seen the testimony of witnesses who said that they've physically seen or heard Amber Heard being abused by Johnny Depp. So this is important because he's a witness who allegedly overheard on the phone a potential physical altercation between Depp and Heard.
Away from the phone, he came clomping back down the stairs. I heard like a noise, and then the phone dropped, and he said to her, "Oh, you think I hit you? You think I fucking hit you? What if I peel your fucking hair back?" And then I heard the phone drop again, and then I heard her scream. I remember her screaming. And I hung up the phone, and I called Raquel immediately because I know that she lives one door away, and her and her boyfriend Josh, who's a big dude, would be able to get there the fastest. And I called her, texted her right away, and I hung up with her and immediately called 911 in New York. And then I called a friend of mine in LA who I knew had met Amber a number of times, and I think I may have placed a second call to NYPD. Now I'm all frazzled and I don't remember, but I think I called NYPD.
The more Amber Heard can present corroborating witnesses like this, the stronger her case becomes and the weaker Johnny Depp's case becomes. Thanks for joining us here on Sidebar. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time.